Hi guys, thought I'd introduce you to the Harley Davidson. This is the project we've been talking about or mentioning briefly. It's been an ongoing project for quite a while. Started out like many of these things. It was an old electric glide I bought from the States, got it really cheap. I think in total with shipping cost about £3.5 grand, which isn't bad. It was running, it's only done about 13,000 miles. And like all blokes, I thought I'd just tidy it up a little bit. And then by the time we've taken a few bits off, it's kind of ran away from itself and it's just going to completely change, clean it up, take a lot of the old 90s gumph off of it and try and strip it right down to a stripped down old-fashioned style 1940s Harley. So I thought it would be a good opportunity now that we've got a few more subscribers and a lot of you guys says, you know, more motorcycle videos. So this is one of many. This is halfway through the project. It's had like a lot of these things just settle down and nothing's been touched as other things happened. We'll tell you a little bit more about that later on, why we started the channel. Very briefly, both Lillian and myself are widowers, so we're just trying to find how to enjoy life again, and this is really what this channel was all about, you know, living after bereavement and actually trying to make the most of life. So during that period, this sort of project, you know, just didn't happen for quite a long time. So now we're trying to pick it back up, and hopefully next year we'll be a stage where it's not far off the road. So I thought this would be a good opportunity just to let you know where I'm at and what my plans are with it. And hopefully as the winter goes on and we get through the winter, there'll be more and more things that will be happening to the bike to get into a stage where we start building it back up to the style I'm trying to look for. So I'll give you a little bit of a tour around. It's a straightforward strip and rebuild except for one major problem, and we'll have a look at that now. Those familiar with Harleys will know that this year model had the what's called the biscuit tin headlamp and dash, which, as far as traditional Harleys are concerned, is very, very ugly. That was the headlamp, that was the dashboard. So, and they had the screen. So basically, the style I'm going for is to clean up the front end with these old style wide bars. We can get rid of the controls that are on there. So to get rid of the controls on the bars, basically we've got this really small digital dashboard. It's all been wired up by professional to the wiring loom, so this should work really, really well. He's already tested it and everything works from the wiring loom. Old style British headlamp. So we're going to convert the amp meter to the fuel gauge, so that will come off of the dash. And the headlights are on this switch here, high and low. So that takes all the switch gear for that side off of there. So all I need is just a simple toggle switch for indicators and horn. So that should really clean up the dashboard. The biggest problem I found is that obviously you don't notice until you do these things is that the electric glide had the reverse triple trees. So the actual forks came behind the steering stem. So in order to put these normal triple clamps on, I'm going to have to cut and bring back steering head 70 to 75 millimeters to make sure that the wheelbase is still the same. And I've found a frame builder locally that's going to do that for me. A lot of all the tab work on the bike I can do myself, but obviously something is structural and is important to that. And I've got a proper frame builder who's going to do that work for me. So the style I'm going for is, like I said, a retro 40s, 50s style Harley. So I found this genuine horn. So we're going to mount the horn on the front like the old bikes. And then the headlamp we've just seen will sit above it. And then these lights, whether I use these lights or new lights, we'll just build a framework around here, nicely chromed tubular framework to carry the lights and indicators either side. We've got really neat little things like this fender light. It should just give it a real nice retro period feel. Got the old buddy seat, and that's going to take a little bit of working out to fit on, but nothing that we can't just fabricate. Probably recut this seat and get it to follow the lines a little bit more, not sitting so high, but just follow the contours. Then we're going to have to make sure it lifts up to get clear of the panniers. And on the back as well, we've got an old-fashioned light, and we'll mount the indicators just here, which I've got some old retro, actually original lights. Indicators will just be mounted here. This seat will be sitting around about there, and then the whole thing should be really nice and clean. So this is the rear light, tail light that we're going for. Again, just old-fashioned style, really nice and clean. These are the indicators again. They're just stamped genuine Harley Davidson, and I'm sure that Harley Davidson guys out there will be able to recognise what's that off. I'm not so sure, but it has got Harley Davidson stamping. Like I say, they'll sit just under the buddy seat. And that's the kind of overall plan. I managed to get a small gel battery that puts out more than enough cranking power and enough power for this Harley. It's a lot smaller than the standard one. So I've managed to make it fit under the seat. So just fabricating a battery box for it to sit into. And one of the projects we need to work on is a little bit of fiberglass in, because the battery used to be mounted just under here. So I'll be using the cutter, fiberglassing that panel out and forming a new sort of blanking panel and making the getting rid of that battery orifice, whatever you want to call it. So that's a fiberglassing project we'll be working on. This is just a tab here because I've got some different crash bars for it. So the crash bars will have the side bars that fix through these holes here. So you have nice side bars, nice chrome side bars. So this will be nice and flush. Oil tank there without the cover. So a nice black oil tank. Just here, so we'll blank these off. And just have a nice black oil tank. So it should be a lot cleaner. And also on the exhaust pipes. So I've got these really nice set of fishtail pipes, which should look really nice as they exit the panniers, and then just give it that 40s, 50s style Harley look. So it's not cutting edge custom design or anything like that. For me, it's just it's the kind of style I've always liked. So if I can achieve that, something close to one of those old classic Harley Tourers, I'll be quite happy about that. We've got some nice retro badges and the electric glide badges, so nothing outrageous, nothing cutting edge, just hopefully a really nice homage to the old Harleys, and that's the kind of look I'm going for. Because of this, obviously now I've got to strip this right down, which is a good thing really, because there's certain parts of the engine, even though it's hardly done any miles, it's a good reason why I now have to strip the engine out so that I can send the frame off to be modified. And while the frame's out, the engine's out, then the engine will get a good clean in, strip down and paint, and head off, and we'll have a quick look at it. And the engines are no problem. I don't mind doing engines. I used to look after my own race bikes and my daughter's race bikes. It's suspension I'm not very good at. I'll just send suspension to a specialist. But the engine, yeah, that should be okay. We'll get that out and we'll strip it down and paint it. And it's a good reason, instead of just doing a reasonable rebuild just for a certain style, it should be really, really clean now that we've gone this far. We might as well do a proper job on it. So that's Harley Davidson. For those guys that are looking for a bit more motorcycle content, I should be getting a Royal Enfield Continental GT. That's going to K-Tech to have some suspension set up on it, and we're also getting the new BSA Gold Star. And again, that we're going to K-Tech to have suspension put on it. So they'll make some good videos which will feature, and we'll put those on at a later date. But as the winter comes on and the household projects take a step back, we'll get back onto this, and we'll keep feeding you news and progress and any comments on what your thoughts are. And no doubt I'll have lots and lots of hiccups and be looking for advice on certain things. I've never done anything this big. I've rebuilt Triumph Bonnevilles and things like that with this. Shouldn't be much different, just on a larger scale. So we look forward to cracking on with that and see if we can take it to the finish. I'm committed to it now, so we've got to. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you in another video. Cheers now, bye.